save your house from the zombies. But if you want to buy anything from Crazy Dave's shop, this is the plan that you need. Let's also try now the golden shroom. So we planted the magnet shroom, which would obviously sleep during the day because of its property of being asleep in the morning. Let's see what the okay, so that's what it does. It collects coins. Again, not a useful plant for in-game competition, but maybe useful if you want to collect coins. You can just allow it to do its work. No need for you to collect any of the coins. The shroom does it for you. So that's where it is handy. But again, in the more difficult stages, it would be advisable not to use this. Either of these plants, neither the marigold nor the golden shroom. So we are at wave 1. Let's try to get some more chompers in there. We do not have a lot in coin. Let's put the marigold as bait. Oops, too late. I think we need to start planting more pea shooters. While it is not a difficult stage, for level 1 this is a vast, difficult. It is much more difficult than the first level of the adventure 1 mode, because there are quite more zombies. There are almost, it is kind of like there are multitudes of zombies rather than the single zombie that was coming out previously in adventure mode 1. So I think as we get into the later stages, this game is going to become quite difficult. And I think we have the walnut first aid as well, that allows us to repair plants, the defensive plants like the walnuts and walnuts. As you can see, I just repaired the first walnut, so that is something useful. And we also need to check our Zen garden, because we got a plant for it right now. We'll need to repair that second one as well, but it's gone, so I think there's not as much repairing as just planting a new one. Now the third and fifth one are heavily damaged, so we need to take care of those as well. I think I need to plant another pea shooter there. Oops, wrong plant. So we are in danger of losing there. Okay, unfortunately we are going to lose our lawnmower already. I did an error in judgment there by planting the magnet shroom instead of the pea shooter, so that cost me a lawnmower. But if we can hold this lane, I think we should be fine, because we have lawnmowers everywhere else. And luckily none of the zombies showed up in this lane. As you can see, all of them showed up separate lanes, but the, frankly, with Crazy Dave choosing at least three plants, and the zombies showing up in higher numbers, this is going to be a bit difficult adventure too, for sure. Let's get rid of this guy and see if we can plant a chomper there instead. So that chomper should be able to finish him off. Yes, and he's gone. Let's go to our Zen garden since we seem to have got a new plant there. Okay, we actually have two new plants here. This is our Zen garden looks like. We have three full grown plants and two new ones. Okay, so that's a new melon. This one demands a phonograph. Okay, here's a walnut, but I don't think we have enough coin for that. Nope, we don't. Let's see, we have 3000. We have brought all in-game items, so let's see if we can buy anything for the shop. Okay, the phonogram and the watering can are expensive. Okay, the snail, let's see what the snail does. Stinky the snail helps you pick up coins in your Zen garden. Yes, why not, since it's 3000 coins and we have 3500. It helps collect more coin. I think that's best for us. We'll come for the watering can and the phonogram later. So this guy will keep collecting coins, so I think we should be fine there. Let's move on with adventure mode, level 2 of the day stage. Okay, again the normal zombies, and this time Dave has chosen a repeater, a spikeweed, and again a walnut. Okay, let's go with the sunflower this time. The spikeweeds will be there, the walnut will be there, the repeater. Should we take a Gatling P? I don't think it's necessary, considering that we are in the level again with only normal opponents, but given how difficult it was last time, you'll really have to think about it. But I'll take the spike rock, the new plant. The marigold and the coin stream can be avoided for now. Let's see what else can we take. Let's take the pumpkin. Should we just take the Gatling piece since we do not have much else to take anyways? I think we'll just take it. And the Torchwood. Let's get the Twin Sunflower. I think this is a good team. I took the pumpkin because the walnuts are not very strong on its own, considering how easily they were munched off last time. We have been using the tall nut from a very long time, so you quite get used to how resilient the tall nuts are. While the walnuts were strong in Adventure 1 for the same mode for the day levels, it is quite outclassed here with the number of enemies that are coming in. We need 200 sun. And again, so we got 100 of those. We need some more. So the repeaters are definitely more useful than the normal pea shooters, but expensive and can take some time to get. Luckily, we have enough sun rolling around. We have only managed to fill in about 3 sunflowers though. Okay, that was bad. Things are about to get more difficult. I think I overestimated how much sun we were gaining. So I think we really need to invest more in the regular pea shooters as well, at least initially, because the repeaters are not really all that good, especially us so early game. We lost 2 of our lawn movers now, but at least we have a full lane of sunflowers now, so production should be faster. So I think these are just hiccups from going from adventure mode 1 to adventure mode 2. There is a vast difference in difficulty here. So now that we have got all the repeaters. Now we can concentrate on defense. So I'll just alternate between pumpkins and walnuts because they have almost similar resilience. The toughness is similar, it's high for both. So tallnut will be extremely high, but walnuts and pumpkins are at a similar length level of strength. So let's try the Gatling peas on. So I'm not going to really use the spike weed, maybe another time. Thinking it would be better to use them in level where there are vehicles, because right now we are struggling to build up something with what we have. So let's just concentrate on getting the repeaters upgraded to Gatlings. So these waves we are getting now are definitely larger than what we had in adventure mode 1, and I believe that things will get even more difficult as it progresses. So I planted a torchwood to fasten the damage. Since the Gatling pit seem to take time to build, this is a far better option. So let's go over and play level 3. So let's now get to ready level 3, and looks like the cone heads will be making an appearance. The conehead zombie is far tougher than the regular zombie. And let's see what we have. Oh, marigold, quite useless. Garlic, not that useful unless you plant them in multitudes. And only if you do not have a lawnmower in the lane and you want to redirect the zombie to some other lane, that is when the garlic comes in. But right now we do not really need it. Let's see. I'll take the sunflower. Let's try the snow pea to slow them down a bit. Think we almost built enough repeaters last time, so I think a snow pea at 175 should be good enough to put a stop to the cone heads. Let's see what else can we get. Let's try out the twin sunflower. Go for tall nuts this time around. The torchwood is useless with the snow pea because it will turn it into a normal pea. Let's see what else can we take. And let's get an imitator for the tall nut because tall nuts are quite slow to load. And finally we can either get the pumpkin or maybe the chomper. Let's try the pumpkin so that we have enough defenses because the defensive plants take quite some time to cool down and get ready for production. I'm not going for the repeater because it's way too expensive this early in the game. So I'm not going to be using any of the plants which Crazy Dave gave us. So if you look at it, our 9 slot plants actually turned only into 6 slots considering the handicap. Hopefully we can use the snow pea well this time. At 175 coins we should be able to plant it fast enough to stop the initial wave of zombies. So we managed to plant all sunflowers. Now we need to make sure that we plant the snow pea in the right place. Okay, so there are snow peas, there are zombies in 2 lanes right now, so we need to fill the first lane as well. Now would be a good time to use the garlic, but I think I'll save it. We should be able to manage the sun because we are only 50 short. Okay, the conehead zombie is coming in the lane where we do not have anything, and it will take us time to build the snow peer, so best to send him into another lane. And this is where the garlic comes in useful. So thanks Crazy Dave. At least one of your plants was not totally useless for me. So I think this should be enough to stop anything that is upcoming. We'll keep the garlic lane for last because any zombies that do come that way will get redirected. So that lane should be safe. think we can build another lane. Let's just try building some twin sunflowers now. So the garlic holds, giving us enough time to keep that lanes. But now I think it should not be very difficult from here, because we have enough plants. The snow peas are able to slow down the zombies enough to keep them at bay, and we are almost at a second lane full of tall nuts. So even if the first lane goes down, we still have another lane of tall nuts to defend us. The imitator is definitely helping. So we are able to produce tall nuts faster thanks to the imitator. Okay, so a tall nut just went down. Okay, so maybe it's not as easy as I thought, because you can see the amount of zombies that are coming in that lane thanks to the garlic is enormous. So I think it would be best to shovel off that zombie now. I'm sorry, the garlic, because otherwise we'll be in trouble. Oops. I thought the zombie wouldn't attack that particular snow pea because it was in another lane. But anyways, okay, so that's another lane of snow peas filled. So I don't know, maybe go for another lane because there's not much else to do anyways. Yeah, let's just do it. The final wave is approaching anyways, so let's just plant a few snow peas and tall nuts. So I think it's safe to say that we have won this level. So there were a few starting hiccups in the first two levels, but this one went easier thanks to a bit of better planning and not being overconfident. So, woof, so that was an easy level to play. So we have Mr. Wonderboy in the chat. Welcome, Mr. Wonderboy. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So, okay, this time we have the snow pea and the repeater and a walnut. So we go with the sunflower, the twin sunflower. Let's take pumpkins. Okay, let's have the tall nuts. Guess the chompers are in order. Because as we can see that walnuts are no longer strong enough to defend against this onslaught that we have. And let's keep the imitator again as tall nuts. Maybe we'll get rid of the pumpkin and instead take the Gatling pea because we did not use the pumpkin much anyways in the last game. So I think let's apply a similar strategy like we did in the last level. Sunflowers as much as possible, followed by the snow pea. Then move on to the tall nuts. And then repeaters and Gatling peas. Okay, so there's somebody again selling likes and follows, but honestly I do not want them. I would rather gain followers naturally. So our second snow pea is up and running. We need a third one because that zombie is just walking about like he owns the place. Nothing to stop him. But I know exactly what will stop him in the tracks. So a lane full of sunflowers. But now we have two zombies coming in the same time. And unfortunately only one lane. Maybe we can add the chomper in there. Let's see. Yep. So put the chomper in at the right time and munch. The zombie's gone. That's where the chomper becomes useful. Sudden death. I think except the Gargantor and Dr. Zomboss, the chomper can rit- literally bite off anybody. Let's start going for tall nuts now, because that defense is going to be very necessary, at least as soon as the waves start coming in. Again, the imitator is very useful here. So I'll put a tall nut in there because the chomper will only be able to swallow one of its opponents, and there are three coming. Now there are only two. Uh, I hoped he had taken on the Conehead, but anyways, it's fine. I don't think that guy should be able to do too much damage because our Snoopy is on the case. Okay, so we have tall nuts on all lanes before the first wave comes in. Let's try putting chompers and repeaters now. The chomper makes quite a satisfying sound when he eats up the zombies. It's like crunch, or even chomp to go along with its name, but it sounds more like crunch. So the chomper in the third lane is waiting hungrily. All his friends have had their meals. He's the only one left to get something. So, but I think he'll be hungry for some time more. Now it's time to start with the repeaters. The chompers are there on every lane. Let's see if we can build enough sun to upgrade them to Gatling before the second wave and the final wave sets in. So far everything's under control, even though there are larger number of zombies coming through more than the first playthrough. I think we have managed it so far. I think the next level should be a mini game type bonus level, because I think in the first playthrough we had the walnut bowling. Maybe we'll have the same thing again. Let's see. So our first Gatling P comes on. So the final wave sets in. Okay, but I don't think we'll be able to plant too many Gatling Ps, because they take quite an awful lot of sun to load. Just finish it off fast with chompers. Okay, let's play. Fifth level. Looks like walnuts bowling again. So I wonder how difficult it will be compared to the first time around. Maybe we won't get any explode nuts or something like that. Let's see. Okay, so this time we have the newspaper zombie starting things off. Okay, so I missed the newspaper zombie. So I think it's definitely missing the explode nuts which we had got the first time around. Because usually by this time we would have, okay, but no, here they are. So I wonder what's changed. Maybe the big waves have more zombies. I'm not sure. Have the number of zombies increased from the first playthrough? Because I'm not sure what has changed from the first playthrough, because it seems to be playing quite similar to how we had played it the first time around. The same type of zombies and everything. Yeah, there comes the vault zombie. So there comes the first wave. We'll try to bowl them over with exploding nuts. This seems to be the best way to take out waves. Boom, boom, boom. So that was enough to take out the entire wave. Now I think the second wave may be a bit more difficult. That's what I think, because the first wave was not all that difficult. Though the zombies definitely seem to have increased from the first playthrough, because if you remember, none of them made it this far during the first time we played it. So the army of the Walking Dead is approaching fast. To take care of these. Okay, the number of zombies that are now coming in is almost like a wave itself. So I think definitely is the number of zombies which has changed from the first playthrough. Everything else seems to be similar. I do not want to waste too many of the exploder nuts